Well, on this website, you're going to hear us talk a lot about pursuing God. And maybe you're wondering, is all this talk about pursuing God, is that just really about joining a religion? Is that just another way of saying becoming a member of a church or joining some religious organization? And that makes sense that you would wonder that, because a lot of people equate God with religion. When they think about God, they automatically think of religion. And see, the problem is that's not necessarily a good thing, because when most people think about the word religion, they have a lot of negative ideas that come into their mind. A lot of people think about rules. They think when you join a religion, now you have a whole new set of rules that you have to live by. They think about rituals. They think that when you join this religion, you've got to learn all these various rituals. They think about obligation. Now that I'm part of this religion, I have all these obligations that I have to live up to, and then along with that comes all this pressure to be able to accomplish all of these obligations, that I've got to do this, and I've got to do that, and I've got to give this money, and I've got to be a part of this activity. And all this pressure builds and builds over time, and then ultimately what happens is people end up feeling guilty, because after all these things that are piled on them, they feel like they can never live up. They can never really follow all the rules that well. I can never remember all the rituals or stick by all these obligations, and they feel bad about themselves and end up being overwhelmed with guilt. Well, the good news is this. Pursuing God is really not about religion at all. Pursuing God is really about pursuing a relationship. It's all about growing and developing a relationship with God. Now think about the difference. When you think about a relationship, hopefully you think of some of these ideas. You think about love, that most relationships are built on some level on love. Think about communication. Communication is a part of every healthy relationship. Think about care. In a relationship, you care for one another. You're supported by one another. Think about freedom. There's not a list of obligations when you have a healthy relationship. There's freedom there. And ultimately, a healthy relationship brings joy and happiness into your life. And so it's so important to understand that God doesn't want us to join a religion. He never says that anywhere. What he wants for us is to be in a relationship with him. That is his desire. Look what he says in the Bible. In the Old Testament, in the book of Leviticus, chapter 26 and verse 12, he is describing the type of relationship that he's going to have with us as his people. He says, I will walk among you, and I will be your God, and you will be my people. See, God uses this relational language to describe how he's going to connect with us. He's going to walk among us. Not literally, obviously, but God is going to be there walking with us in a relationship, and he's going to be our God, and we're going to be his people. Again, this is relational language, and that's the way God chooses to describe what he wants from us. So when you think about pursuing God, don't get freaked out thinking, oh, this means I have to join some church or become a member of some religion. No, think about pursuing a relationship with God. That's really what this is all about. So why don't you go ahead and pause now and discuss these questions.